Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she's mad because I don't chase. Well, I've got an email here. It's a little longer than an email that I normally go through, but what I really liked about this guy's email is he brings up a lot of great things, or problems I should say, that some guys tend to have in the relationship phase. He's a little bit guilty of being a bit too much of a cold fish and taking the no chasing to the extreme. So I have a quote that I wrote in this particular topic, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "Love is about caring, not only saying you care, but also showing you care. Women know that if men really care, they show it in addition to saying it. Men often mistakenly dismiss their women's need for more affection and caring behavior by using logic and reason to justify their actions as proof they care. This makes women feel like they are not heard or understood. By women understanding that men need direct, explicit, logical instructions when describing what they need of their men, and men understanding that women tend to use feelings, emotions, examples, and inferences instead of logic and reason to communicate their needs, they both will be able to understand and meet each other's needs more effectively." That was a really long sentence. But it's important, it's powerful information, because if men understood how women communicated a little better and differently than them, and women did the same, things would be a lot easier. So let's go through this guy's email. So when he first found me, he was originally trying to get his ex-wife back, and then he decided that that was fucked, and he ended up going through getting a divorce. And this particular girlfriend of his, who he included a picture with, and she looks pretty hot from her pictures. She looks like she's also a handful, hell on wheels. And because she looks like she's in great shape, she's got a nice body, she's attractive, she obviously knows that the boys like her. So therefore, she has plenty of options. And whether you're a man or a woman, when you know you have lots of options, it's a lot easier to tell the other person, hey, you know what, fuck it, pound sand, I'll just replace you with somebody better. Kind of like the paradox of choice, if you will. So let's go through his email. He says, "What's up, Corey? So I've been following your work for a while, and before I was in a different situation trying to get my wife back. I took your advice and I moved on, and I ended up with an even more successful and hotter chick than my ex-wife." Well, like you've probably seen me say many times in videos past, if you apply things that are in my book, you'll either get the ex back that you want and things will be way better, or you'll get somebody who's way better than her and therefore have an even better quality relationship because you attract a better quality person. And the reason you attract better quality is because you become better quality. I've been with her now for a year, and she just recently backed away and says she wants space because I don't pursue her and reach out to her enough during the day. Well, I've talked about this many times over the years in videos, and like I talk about in the book, and I believe I've even mentioned when I did the audio version of the book, is that you get to the point where women are doing pretty much 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing, but sometimes some women are going to put their foot down and say, hey, it'd be nice if you made an effort. I call you all the time, but I never hear from you. And if a woman brings it up, especially more than once, the fact that you're not calling or texting her at all, and what my standard response usually is to that is not to make excuses. Maybe I'll tease and I'll play around a little bit, because I talked about in my book, one of my girlfriends at the time, I think it was my English girlfriend I was talking about, she used to say that. And she would bust my balls about it a little bit, that how come I'm always reaching out? Because I'm such an awesome boyfriend, because you love me so much. And usually that would be, she would joke around, but it didn't bother her. It wasn't that big a deal. Now, I had another girlfriend who would bring that up, and it bothered her, and she kept bringing it up, and she made it a point to say, hey, we just spent a weekend together. We just spent a week together on vacation, and it's been 3 days, and I've reached out to you every day, 2-3 times a day, when I haven't heard from you once. It's really important to me, Corey. And so obviously in that particular case, I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry. I will make more of an effort. I know it's really important to you. This is like the second or third time you've mentioned it. So I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to reach out in ways that you're probably unexpected just to let you know that I care. And what I typically will do when that situation presents itself is one week I might call, another week I may text her, another week I might send an email, another week I might actually write out a card, go to the store, pick out a nice card, and write some kind of thoughtful message and mail it to her at work or her house. Or maybe put a little post-it on the visor of the mirror in her car, so when she gets out to leave in the morning, she pulls it down, she sees a little "I love you" note. Just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. Have a great day. Something along those lines. Because instead of just me saying "I love you" all the time, it shows her through my actions that I care. Now, every woman is going to be different, but obviously in this particular case, I think this particular girlfriend of this guy may be more like the second girlfriend of mine example that I gave you, where I literally had to call and text her and make it ever because it was important to her. And me continuing to not do that and joke around about it would eventually have caused her to start thinking like I didn't give a shit about her. A great book to read if you haven't read it yet is The 5 Love Languages, by the way. So back to his email. He says, I may have gone too far or gone to the extreme, but I do not contact her unless she contacts me. And when she does, I make it about getting together so we can spend time. I mean, that's good and everything, but when she keeps bringing it up over and over, you just can't, it's like you sweep a pile of shit under the rug and then your dog keeps crap on the floor. Eventually you keep sweeping the shit under the rug to the same place. That lump is going to get really fucking big and really stinky and really become an obvious problem. There's a lot of guys end up saying years later, I didn't think she was serious. I didn't think she would really break up with me. I didn't think she meant it. He says she made a complaint that when we're not together, she feels like we're not connected and that she does not have a boyfriend because I don't reach out, and that the only time she will hear from me is if she reaches out to me. And notice what he does. He goes in a logic and reason mode to explain himself. And when a woman just said, I want you to show that you care through your actions and reach out to me from time to time, it doesn't mean you got to do it every day. And like what I say is once a week, surprise her, but be different about it. Because what she's really saying is, hey, I want to know that you care and you're not showing me enough by taking the initiative to show that you care. So by doing something and being different and doing one thing every week where you reach out, whether it's a call or a text, you're going out of your way to do different things, but ultimately with the same goal, which is showing that you care. Because the whole purpose of all relationships is you go there to give. You're there to meet each other's needs, to help each other grow and become more. And in order to feel loved and supported, she wants you to reach out from time to time. And that's okay. I explained to her that I'm very busy running my business and that it's not that I don't care. It's just that when I get focused on my purpose, and I'm really busy nowadays around tax season with everything that's going on, what a woman hears is, I'm not changing anything and I don't care about you enough to change my routine. That's what she's going to hear when you say this to her. I mean, it sounds like a great explanation, and me and any other guy would hear it and go, yeah, that makes total sense. But the reality is you just said, I'm not giving you what you want. And you're not important enough for me to reach out because I'm too busy. My business is more important to you. Hence why she said she feels like she's single when you're not around or when you're not talking. The needing space came from when we were at a restaurant and I grabbed all of our silverware and napkins and asked her if she wanted something to drink before I sat down. She said no. So I sat down and started ordering a part that I needed on my phone for one of my restrooms at my business. We only had a few minutes to eat and get there before they close. She sat down after she got herself a drink and a few things, and then she asked me to get up and get her a straw. I know I shouldn't have worded things the way I did, but I said, babe, get up and get yourself a straw. I need to finish this. What you just said to her, it's like there's an analogy in my book. There's a story where she's like, "Oh, honey, look at my nails. What do you think?" The game's on. Get it the hell out of the way. What you basically said is, you're not important and I don't care about you. That's what she hears. The reason she asked for the straw is because in her mind, she's already upset because you don't show her enough that you care. So she's probably kind of picking a fight to see how you'll respond, because she can tell you're busy and you're focused on something, but at the end of the day, she's not getting what she wants from you, which is to show that you care. So she's picking a fight about a straw. Because if you care, you'll say, "Sure, babe. You get up, you'll get her a straw." Boom. Or you're like, "Damn, I'm trying to order a part here. What the hell, woman?" She said, "Dang, like that? Fine, I'll get my own straw. Don't ask me to get anything for you." And I said, "Hey, you don't have to start that princess shit," sarcastically. All she's trying to say is, if you love me, show me. That's the theme here of what's really going on. And so what's happening, it's more than just you calling or texting her and reaching out. She's in the mind that you don't care. So now she's going to start looking for reasons to test you to prove that you don't care. And obviously the thing with the straw, you may think it's silly and stupid, but to her, she takes it, "Yep, you failed that test, shows you don't care." Then I said, "I'm not going to kiss your ass, babe. I'm not sure what you're used to, but we're both here eating, and I asked you if you needed something, and you said no, and now you're asking me to get you a straw, and that's not cool. I hate when girls ask me to do something that they can do for themselves." That's not why they're asking you. They're asking you because they want to see that you care. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way they are. If you care, you'll do this it's a little thing, but you could have just as easily said, "You know what? I'll get you a straw. Even though I asked you before if you want anything, I'll get you a straw only because I love you. But before I go, give me a little sugar." And you lean in and she kisses you. Now, it's easy to say that sitting here. I'm not in this situation with you, but I've been in situations just like that where I'm busy in the middle of something, girlfriend calls, and I'm irritated already, and this is the third time she's calling that day, and I'm short to her, kind of rude, and then I don't hear from her for a day or two, and I realize I was being a dick. I should apologize because I was wrong. "Hey, honey, I'm sorry. I was short with you on the phone the other day. I was stressed out. That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Probably made you feel like I didn't care, like you weren't important to me, and I'm sorry. Definitely gonna make it up to you. I want to see you when you're free to get together. Make a date." That's, giving you an example from something that I did in the past where I didn't hear from my girlfriend for a couple of days. It happens to every guy, even me. You get busy, get caught up, you're in a shitty mood, and boom, you snap at somebody. He says, "Of course, the rest of the night was shot because I tried to communicate with her as we grabbed the parts I needed, and we went back to my business. I wanted us to get out of the bullshit mood and just focus on having fun together, but she was stuck in it. When a woman feels heard and understood, the legs open. When she doesn't, the legs close." So what you've done is you've made her feel like you don't care and that she's not heard and understood, because instead of saying, "You know what, honey, you're right. You've asked me several times to show you that I care by reaching out more, and I haven't done it. All I've done is told you I'm busy with work, and that probably makes you feel like I don't care. You know what? You're right. I've been selfish. I'm sorry. I promise you I will do better. And you'll see in the next week I'll surprise you." How I'm going to surprise you? Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. But trust me, I got the message. He says, "As the night went on, I tried to make the best of it, making little jokes and trying to tickle her and shit like that. The next morning, she cleaned the whole kitchen, but she was still moody and distant." Well, you've been together a year at this point, so obviously you're getting to the point where the questions become, can I live with this? Is this a deal breaker? Is there somebody out there who will treat me the way I want to be treated? When you have lots of choices and lots of options, you're more inclined to go, "Hey, this has been great. I think I might just go find somebody else." But when you don't feel you have options and choices, you're also going to be more inclined to stick around for a bad relationship or a relationship that you know should end. I just hung up with a client of mine, and I've been talking to him for the last 8 months, and he's just going round and round and round in circles with this girl, and it's not going anywhere. It's strictly platonic, and I say the same things to him every time. He's like, dude, I love the business, but I want to see you progressing, and you're not progressing. He'll probably call me in a couple months. Oh, but it's getting better. Some guys just got to get burned. They're a glutton for punishment. You know, his threshold of pain has not been reached yet. In other words, he hasn't experienced enough pain and enough blue balls yet to realize, you know what, maybe I really should change course. He's even got his female friends telling him these things. But that's another story. Well, hopefully this guy will make quick corrective action here, because this is a simple thing to resolve. As she was about to leave, I said, babe, we need to talk. We should not be like this over a straw. Dude, it ain't over just a straw. That, metaphorically, is the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just one more instance of you showing that she wasn't important enough to care. That's the real problem here. She, of course, said there was nothing wrong with her and that she was going to go. Yeah, everything's swell. Everything's fine. It's fine. When a woman says it's fine, it ain't fine. Then later on, I get a long email with her expressing how she felt about the situation, that I was not chasing her enough, basically, and she says that she's not a princess. Then she turns around and says, well, actually, she is a princess, and that her daddy treats her and caters to her and her mom. And her parents have been together for like 30-something years, and her dad's like 70-something. And she says that her dad caters to her mother, and he's very affectionate. So the fact that she's mentioning affectionate, that affection might be her love language. Or her love language might be doing things for her. So in other words, unless you're doing things for her, she might not feel that you care. That's really important. Some people, gift giving is their love language. And a gift giver, being in a relationship with somebody that needs praise, and they're giving gifts to show their affection, but they never praise because they never think of it. It's not their love language. The other person whose love language is praise feels unloved, even though you're giving all kinds of great gifts. That's why I think The 5 Love Languages is a great fucking book. And where did I hear about that book? From a woman. A really good female friend of mine turned me on to it, and it helped me tremendously. I expressed to her that, of course, after all those years and the fact her mom and dad lived together, so what the reason she's telling you about her parents, because she's like, my parents have a good relationship. They've been together 3 decades, and he dotes on her, and that's how I want to be treated. Doesn't mean you turn into her butler and you kiss her fucking ass. All she's trying to say is, show me that you care. Call me, text me every once in a while. Just out of the blue. It'll mean the world to me. And next time I ask for a goddamn fucking straw, I'll give you a fucking straw. I expressed to her after all those years, because again, you're using logic and reason here to justify why everything's fine. It's easy for him to be expressive in the same household and be affectionate. I told her that I don't want a phone ship, and that when we're not together, it doesn't bother me when we don't speak, as I'm not insecure about our status. Again, you're using more logic and reason to justify why you ain't changing shit. I told her if we don't speak, I simply think she's busy, and that if she has time, she'll reach out to me. Anyway, cut to the chase, and she said she wanted space, and that she's going to find some guy that's going to cater to her and treat her like a princess and all of that, yada, yada, yada. I told her that she can do what she has to do, and I'm very busy, and I make time for her, and I do cater to her when we're together, but I'm not going to chase after her and to not let the door hit her where the good Lord split her. I think Chris Rock was the first one to say that. I told her that if she's out there bullshitting and looking for other men, to not come back to me after she's been testing the waters with other men, because I don't want that crap back. That same day, I drove for an hour to get her supplies for her catering company. What also sounds like you should say, hey, look, I want some acknowledgement. I drove for an hour to get supplies for your catering company, and I did it because I care. So I want some sugar for that. I want some acknowledgement. That's important. She told me that she knew I would not call her, and that the only way she would hear from me is if she texted me, and she's damn right. I have not contacted her since Friday, and I don't plan on it. I'm not cocky or think that I'm the best dude in the planet. Why not? Of course you're the best. But I know I have been treating her well, and I just have a thing about letting women walk all over me. Well, calling her, texting her once a week out of the blue, or an email or a card, trust me, dude, just it'll go a long way. I know she wants to turn me into a beta male, no, but she will test you to see if she can. I'm not down for that bullshit. I may have been too hard on her. See, you already kind of know with all the crap and my ex-wife put me through, and I just have a low tolerance for bullshit. I may have gone to the extreme of not contacting her, which I think by now it's pretty obvious. I think that's spot on. And you know it. You know you've taken it to the extreme. Or reaching out and waiting to hear from her. So you're not really interacting with her in a way that's consistent with your relationship. It's really you're kind of interacting with her in a way as if she's your ex-wife. Don't do that. I know she is doing almost 100% of the reaching out. Should I apologize or let her come back to me when she's had time to marinate on this situation? I think it's bullshit about the straw situation. Well, women are different than us guys, but it's those differences that we like so much. But obviously there was more to it than that, and maybe I've been too much of a cold fish. Ding ding. Self-diagnosis. You already know what the problem is. I've been trying to move to a new home because I need to get out of where I'm at, and I asked her if she wanted to join our family together. She's been kind of lagging and saying that she wants more time for me to get to know her children before we move forward. It's only been a year, dude. Just slow your roll. And at the end of the day, she ain't bringing that shit up. Our children are the exact same age and gender, and they get along great, and they ask for each other when we're not together. I say all this because she wants my affection and she wants me chasing her, but yet I lay the cards on the table and say, okay, let's be a family, and she's dragging her feet. Well, the reason being is she doesn't feel heard and understood and loved. And it's just reach out. Once a week, dude. Just surprise her. Make a big deal out of it. Make a big deal. Say, I'm doing this because I listened. I heard you, baby. This was important to you, and so I'm reaching out to let you know. Rubbing her face a little bit for a few times you do it, and after that, no big deal. We were looking at this big-ass house. It's about 4,000 square feet. She's in love with this house, but she's not trying to commit to being there. And I feel like if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, the only way you really know them is if you're living together. It's only been a year, dude. And where things are right now, get the house that you can afford for you and your kids. Don't be doing it because of her. If later on she wants to move in, she'll let you know. I know that people that dated for years, and then once they get married, they divorce within a year because once they live together, they uncover a whole lot of crap about each other that they didn't like. That's definitely true. I've known plenty of people in my own life, and I've talked to hundreds of them over the years in my coaching practice that are in the same way, the same boat. But I said, everything that you're doing, I like. You stand up for yourself. You won't put up with any bullshit. But the only thing you're being kind of a stubborn jackass about is the calling and texting. And again, once or twice a week, differently, just like I've described, is all you would have to do. But I would reach out to her and I would just say, look, I've been thinking, and you know what? You're right. I've been selfish. I haven't called you. I haven't texted. I should have. I promise you I'll make more of an effort. As long as you ain't fucking around with no other dudes, as long as you were just saying that because your feelings were hurt, let's get together and talk about it over dinner. That's how I would handle that particular situation. Other than that, sounds like you've been manning up and doing everything else right. But I would also highly encourage you, there's a video I did called How to Communicate with Women Effectively, and you also definitely need to review the communication skills in the back of my book, because I look at this and I read this letter, and quite frankly, I don't get a lot of these questions anymore. I used to get these years ago, but as I get a lot of questions, I either do enough videos or I change things in the book a little bit or add things to the book to explain it, and those questions just kind of magically disappear. So when I look at your whole email in context here, it tells me you spent a lot of time in the pickup skills and the dating skills, but you didn't spend much time learning the relationship skills, because the relationship skills that are in the latter half of my book really only come into play after the 90-day to 6-month mark. So a lot of guys make the mistake of, hey, I'm getting late, we're hooking up, she's over at my house every night, she says she loves me, she already asked me to be exclusive. They just forget about all those things. And it's not until later on down the line, like obviously you guys been together for a year, and now it's really built up to the point where she's literally talking about walking away and finding some other dude. So, like I said, that's what I would do if I were you to turn things around. It really shouldn't be that big of a deal where things are at. But you got to remember, women tend to take the little things and they blow them up into these big major ordeals, and it's our job as men to take those big things and shrink them down into their little parts and solve them. And a simple phone call or a simple text once a week, because obviously she's gone out of her way to let you know, even several times here through the email, that's all you have to do. Just call her, text her once or twice a week, out of the blue. Hey babe, hope you have a great day. Want to let you know I was thinking about you. That's all you have to do, man. Don't send the same message every time. But the point being is it's just showing that you care. Do something different once a week, and everything will be Irie. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page, and book a coaching session with yours truly. And I will talk to you soon.